This video is going to show you how to use the new location feature or walk around feature in SimsUshare version 1.4 and above for the mobile platforms, for Android and for iOS. What you'll notice immediately is when you actually run a simulation with multiple views is you now have this cluster of arrows, and I essentially just click on an arrow to go to whichever location I've actually hooked up, and you can hook up different locations. Now the arrows also give you the ability to hook up different views. So I could say a different location, let's say venting the roof. I use this upper right arrow. And now I'm looking at that different view, and the lower left arrow could take me back over there. Now sometimes, like that venting the roof, you may not want to show your students what you're actually pressing. Or for whatever reason, on the mobile versions, you can actually minimize the navigation arrow and then use what we call tap regions. And the tap regions are parts of your screen that if you tap on them, they have that same effect as clicking on the arrow. So now your students can't actually see. If I tap on this, and let's say this is projected onto a screen, the students aren't seeing what you're actually doing. And that way you can have several changes, and based on whatever the students do, you can go to the right view, or just still use for navigation. So we're going to now show as well you can always hide these menus, even the little icon for showing or revealing the cluster of arrows by in the menu going hide menu, and now everything disappears. Now they're still here, they just are invisible to make it a little more immersive. So I'm going to go back now and show you a little bit about what it's like to create new locations. So essentially I've already started a scenario here, row home start. Now you'll notice with the new location there's a little new icon up here, which is our location icon. I click on it and you'll see it gives you access to new location, rename, set navigation, and then edit initial location. And I've already created a second location here that called Bravo Charlie. I could create a new location by doing new location, and it will then walk me through creating the process. When I do creating a location, I'm essentially able to say, let's say this is going to be a vented. I can set a different background, or I can copy the assets directly from one of the other locations. That makes it easy to do variations of other locations. If I change the background and copy the locations, the background will be the one I set, but the assets, the smoke and fire, will come from what I've copied. And that can be very useful if you're working, let's say you have already side A, and now you want to work on the opposite side. You just want to change the background. You don't want to change the smoke and fire. You may want to move them around a little bit. So you can copy all the contents of side A, set the background for the Charlie side, and then just move your elements into the right place. And that's a very rapid, easy way to create another location that matches exactly the elements of a different location. So actually when I go and create here, now I'm actually working on a vented, the new location, and you'll see here now I have a vented. So other things here, manage locations. I'm going to just show you one. Manage locations lets you do things like reorder them, lets you rename, and also set the location navigation, copy locations, delete, and things like that. Easiest way to do the navigation, actually I'm going to go here and remove this for right now. I'm going to delete that location that I just did. And so now I'm working on the initial location. I'm going to go and set my navigation. I click on that, I say set navigation, and the basic steps that you're going to use here is, as the instructions say, first click on an arrow to set that direction. So I'm setting the navigation for initial location. So if I want to have it from the initial location go to Bravo Charlie, let's say I want to go left. I'm going to click on the arrow, which we use north, south, east, west, and so on, that nomenclature. So it says here choose the destination, and these are the destinations when west is pressed. Well, west is going to go to Bravo Charlie. At that point it turns red, and now the arrow is set, the navigation is set. If I go back and I'll actually see here, play my simulation, now I actually have my cluster of arrows with the west button active. I click on that, and now my Bravo Charlie. Notice also that now the east or the right arrow is illuminated. And what that does is happens automatically if we go back to set location, set navigation, excuse me, you'll notice there's a thing at the bottom, reciprocal navigation. That means that when I set one direction, like I set west or I set left to Bravo Charlie, it automatically set, if I were at Bravo Charlie, go east, the opposite direction, back to this initial location, Alpha Bravo. So that's a convenient, so that when you want to move one way, you go to one location, from that location move in the opposite direction, the opposite on this cluster of arrows will take you back to the original location. Now this lets me set the navigation for initial location. The icon in the upper right corner, this pull down here, lets me very quickly go and set the navigation for other locations. So now I'm setting the navigation, I'm at the Bravo Charlie side, and if I now see here, I've got my arrow that says east is going to go to initial location. If I want to remove this arrow, I just click on the arrow. It's telling me from Bravo Charlie, east goes to initial location, and then I remove this path. Now if I don't want to remove the reciprocal link, I can turn this off. So if I only want it to be a one-directional from initial location to Bravo Charlie, maybe I will delete this from Bravo Charlie back to the initial location. Again, if I want to reset it, I just click on the arrow, the direction I want to go, and I say initial location. So you can see something straightforward to create your navigation. And as your list of locations grows, this menu here will grow downward. And this is the scrolly menu, so you'll have all your locations listed over here. And you have things like rename location. For example, if I were at the, right now, the initial location, I want to rename it and say this really should be Alpha Bravo. Now it'll make a lot more sense when I see Alpha Bravo than if I just saw whatever that initial location. So this new location feature gives you the ability both to change it to a different view, but also create a location, a mock location, which is a different condition, giving you a lot of flexibility in how you're going to present your simulation and even dynamically change the condition based on what the crews do.